Hello, this is Wolfman611 from wolfmansbytes.com. This is video review number 11. It's the Logitech G13 Advanced Game Board. So here you got it, starting this one over here with no lights on. You can see it's got a backlit keyboard and also an LCD. Now I have this plugged into an Ubuntu laptop, which is why you're not seeing that LCD actually displays information when you're hooked it up to a computer with Windows that's playing games and stuff. So the LCD does more than what it's currently doing now. But just to give you an idea of the way it looks when it's lit up. Okay, now that we got the lights back on, we can actually get into what this advanced game board actually does. So as you can see here, you got your 22 keys, which are right here. You've also, right here, I got to zoom in on this a bit. Right there, I think that's what sets this thing apart right there. This joystick from a lot of these game boards that are out there. If they don't have that joystick, to me they're garbage or no good. That stick can be programmed to either be digital or analog, it's up to you. Again, that's all in the software. And again, if you're downloading the software for it, you'll get all the latest stuff, which you pretty much want to do. Don't use the software that comes on the CD for this thing. And this thing here, when I seen it, the funny part is, when I first seen this thing mentioned online, I thought, okay, I understand that it looks cool and all that stuff, but who's actually gonna want this LCD thing that's on there? To me, that was just like a waste of money. But then when you get this thing and you see what can be displayed on the LCD, especially for me, I do game reviews and stuff like that, so this game board here can turn on and display fraps information, so it can tell you what your frame rate is in a game. By default, it will tell you how much RAM you're using, how much CPU you're using, including if you have multiple cores in the CPU. So the LCD is really an integral part to the actual game board that I actually use more than I thought I was going to use. I thought for sure they could have, before I actually had the thing, that they could have just cut that off and save me 20-30 bucks, whatever it cost them to put that on there. But now that I've used it, I'm glad it's there. With these buttons here, these four across the top, might not be able to see them really good, but they control the LCD functions. So you got things like a countdown and a count up timer that can do as it suggests. It can count down and count up. That's good if you're trying to time how long something takes in a game. Winamp or any kind of media player will turn around and display whatever track you're playing through the LCD. There's RSS modules that come with it that can pull in news feeds. If you're really elite at your first person killing, you might have time to read the news while you're chasing people around. So there's an RSS feed reader that comes with this thing. The LCD just does tons of different stuff. The keys down below here, these big ones across the bottom here, are basically your profile keys. So the gamepad by itself has the 23 keys, plus this joystick here can be pushed down, so that's an extra button there. Plus you got a button here and a button here. So that's quite a few keys. And them keys, depending on how you want to do it, I mean, the actual configuration options you have in terms of using the software that goes with this thing and setting up macros and stuff like that is really mind-blowing. I thought for the longest time the Belkin guys had that all wrapped up. But after seeing what these guys did here, Logitech, there's just I don't think there's any comparison. I was expecting it not to be as good as the Belkin pad, actually, in terms of being able to do macro programming and stuff. But this thing here, it does everything the Belkin pad does, no problem. You want to put mouse clicks in your macros or any of that stuff, it does it. This even goes a step further in that it supports the Lua scripting language. Now, for anybody that plays WoW, you'll notice that almost probably 99% of the mods that you download for WoW, and I'm talking about some really extensive mods here, are all programmed in the Lua scripting language. So that gives you some idea how flexible that language is, and this thing supports it by default. Now, so far I haven't seen really anything use it, but at least it's there. There's an API you can download if you're a programmer and actually program specific things for the gamepad. A lot of the newer games you're seeing come out now all support the game. So in the case of WoW, it's too bad I didn't have this hooked up to the computer with WoW on it, but when you look at the LCD in WoW, it'll show you things like what your battleground score is, what the Alliance has for how many times they've won, how much the Horde's won. There's all kinds of information from WoW that gets displayed on that thing. It's just incredible. You can see basically when you pull up the stats screen in WoW to see your character stats, pretty much all that information is available on this LCD. So just tremendous amount of power. As I was saying there with the keys down here, you got your profile keys, so you can have up to 3 different profiles. And this button right here that I'm tapping, that's the macro record. So if you want to set up, a fast, dirty macro where, say for example, you want to hit W twice, then R, then whatever else, you can do that, and it's recorded right away. You assign the key that you want to go to, it goes to that, and macro's recorded. As I was saying before, though, if you want to get into specific and very intricate macros that do a lot of stuff, that's where you want to actually get into using the software that comes with it. And in there, you can just go crazy in terms of what you can do macro-wise. So yeah, overall, I'm really, really, really impressed with this thing. It was worth $100. I didn't think it was going to be when I bought it. I thought, oh, well, I don't think anything... Because prior to this, I hadn't seen anything come out that was better than the Belkin N50. Belkin come out with the N52, but as I got the review on my site there where I compared the N50 to the N52 a couple of years ago now, and I just wasn't... I thought the N52 was too crunched, you know. There was more buttons, but there wasn't as much space to actually let your fingers hang down in the hole that's in the center of it there. So to me, it just didn't... It felt weird. Whereas this thing here, because it's so big, you know, you can have some pretty big mitts on you, hands, whatever you want to call them. And there's a lot of room here, you know. People with small hands might actually have troubles trying to reach some of these buttons. Like even me, it's hard for me to reach the actual LCD buttons up here to get the various LCD functions. This pad here, this grippy stuff here, this is perfect. This has never given me any issues. It's not come off. Unlike the Logitech trackball I bought, that had a nice feel to it until the coating just started to peel off. Probably a couple months after owning the trackball, which I wasn't impressed with. But anyway, back to the Gameboard. I was really impressed with this. Logitech really nailed this in terms of the hardware, the design of it. I was really surprised because I figured, okay, they nailed it hardware-wise. The hardware is all, you know, looks really good. That thing feels really good. All the keys work. Good function there. So you figure it's Logitech. There's got to be a weakness, right? It's got to be the software. And then from what I've seen on the software, no, they're heading that too. Like the software is every bit as good as the hardware. So this is a must-buy. If you're into first-person shooters, I don't see how you could be into them types of games and not have something like this. Just the control you got, you know, the fact that you got this little joystick here that you can move around. You can get your guy to go, you know, forward, back, side to side. If you want to have that joystick programmed as an analog stick instead of digital, you can do that inside the software, as I mentioned before. So it really is a solid product. Here you can see underneath it here, you got your rubber feet on the corners, here and here. Really, really solid. Good feel to it. Up here they got a big weight to actually weigh the thing down that way. Like when you sit, you know, it's pretty solid. Makes quite a bit of racket when you drop this thing down. Not that you want to be dropping it too much. But yeah, really impressive. Like I said, the price was about $100. All kinds of games, WoW supports. A lot of first-person shooters coming out now support it. And when I say support, I mean they actually display information on the LCD. In terms of actually, you know, being able to use this thing in any first-person shooters, it basically emulates a keyboard. And so, you know, any game that can handle keyboard input can handle this thing as well. So there you have it, the Logitech G13 Advanced Gameboard. Really impressed, really good buy. There's nothing I can really say bad about it. Oh, except for one, there is one little issue here, and that is, here, try and zoom this in a bit here. This, get this over here. This joystick, I don't know what it is, but after a couple months of using this thing, sometimes this stick, when you push it, depending on the direction, will actually get stuck. And so, like, I've seen this happen lots of times in a while. I'd be sitting there, I'd be running forward, I'd let go of the joystick, and my guy's still going forward. He's not stopping when I let go of the stick. So that's one really annoying pain in the ass to this thing. And as you can see, when you tipped it upside down, you know, it doesn't look like there's going to be any real easy way to rip this thing apart. Especially, well, let's put it this way, if you rip it apart, you've just voided the warranty. Which for me, I can do it now. I can take it apart because I've had it longer than a year anyway. But I'll zoom this. Anyway, that's my minor complaint. Software-wise, it's right on. I mean, what more can you ask for? So that's it, the Logitech G13 Advanced Gameboard. And this is Wolfman 611. Remember the price on this thing, you should be able to get it now for less than $100. Go to my website for the detailed text review of this thing, where I actually get into a lot more of it in terms of a text review. And that's it. This is Wolfman 611, signing out.